Our third story is The iFairy by Val Ormrod. Val Ormrod has an MA in creative writing from Bath Spa University. Her memoir, In My Father's Memory, was shortlisted for the Janklow and Nesbitt Prize. A member of the Forest Dean Writers Circle and Narcot Poets, Val also leads the U3A creative writing group. She has won prizes in a variety of competitions and reads her work widely, including on radio. This is Val's first reading at Stroud Short Stories, and I can announce that Val is the 100th writer to appear at our event. So special applause for Val.
The iFairy. Alex checked his pocket again to make sure it was still there. Every time he wrapped his fingers around the small box, he felt a renewed frisson of excitement. The new device had been a closely guarded secret, and nobody knew how it worked. Social media had been buzzing with speculation from those who professed to have inside information. But Alex knew the creators were too clever to give anything away. Nearly 50 million of the latest must-have accessory had been sold just in pre-orders, and no one, other than the technical team who had produced it, had seen it in action. There was no facility to try it out first, no YouTube clip, not even a demonstration at the Apple store where Alex had queued outside half the night just to be one of the first to own it. The promise that this device would make the user's dreams come true was impossible to resist. At last he was inside his flat. He took the new toy from his pocket and reverently unpacked it from the extravagantly padded box. Tiny filigree fairy wings, etched on the white and silver case, winked as the light caught them. He turned it over and over in his hands and kissed the seductive surface. It was perfect. Your iFairy comes fully charged. Just lift the outer cover. Alex marvelled as the wonderful iridescent screen was revealed. Rub gently and your fairy will appear. He started to rub in a gentle circular motion. And then, abracadabra, she was there. No bigger than a credit card, she unfolded from the device as if she'd been entombed in the casing. She twirled once just above the screen. It was the strangest sensation. Although he knew she was just a hologram, she seemed to occupy real space. "Hi," she said in a voice so lifelike it was unnerving. "I'm my family." Alex thought his Aunt Bloodwin had come into the room. Surely the device was invented in California. He hadn't expected a fairy with a Welsh accent, nor one with auburn pigtails and green leggings. They didn't look quite right with the wings. What had he expected? Just a regular fairy, he supposed. Tumbling golden hair, a white choo-choo perhaps, and silver dancing shoes. But if she was going to make his dreams come true, did it really matter? "What is your wish?" the fairy asked. A rather grandiose tone, Alex thought, but this was more like it. He had a whole list of wishes and dreams. "I want to win the lottery," he said quickly. "Top spot, jackpot please, no other winners to have to share it with." Did he imagine it, or did she look disillusioned? Stop it, he thought. This is just a piece of technology. It doesn't have feelings. Then Miss Anne yawned. "Not that old chestnut," she said. "I hoped you'd be more original." "What do you mean?" he said. "You're supposed to grant all my wishes." She pushed her bottom lip out. A most unattractive gesture, he thought. "Don't think that one's in the job description," she said. Then, as he started to look annoyed, she went on. "Look, we had an iFairy conveners meeting last night. In all the trials, winning the lottery was the #1 request. We can't have 50 million of you all winning." I'd have thought you'd be able to overcome these practical issues with your fairy dust, he complained. Just how old are you? The fairy asked scornfully. You're a very contrary fairy, he said, hoping to lighten her up. Advances in artificial intelligence had been awesome in the last few years. Perhaps they'd managed to develop humour. OK, if I can't win the lottery, I still want to be rich. You can make that happen, can't you? You are meant to be making my dreams come true. Be careful what you wish for, Myfanwy warned darkly. Are your dreams always good ones, or are some bad? I only want the good ones, he said hurriedly, and being rich is what I dream about most. He tried his most charming smile. That, and being an Adonis with a lean, toned body like Aidan Turner in Poldark. Alex could have sworn she looked him up and down with an "oh yeah" expression, but he decided to ignore it. We don't make dreams come true, she said. We can only help you make them come true. I can help you become rich, but only with considerable effort from you. Then if you work hard and keep at it, I promise you'll be rich. How soon? Depends on you, she said. A year, maybe, if you're prepared to work extra hard. Alex's heart sank. He didn't like work. This wasn't what he expected when he bought his iFairy. It was a con. As for that toned body, she continued, I've started on that one already. Look. Alex followed her gaze, just in time to see his fridge being emptied. All the food was disappearing out through the door. He shook his head. What the hell was this device? He must be having hallucinations. He needed a drink. He strode over to get a beer, but it had gone, along with all the food. He looked for his ciggies, but couldn't find them anywhere. Instead, he discovered a gym membership card lying on the worktop. Then, to his horror, he found his car had disappeared from the garage. In its place was a bicycle. A bicycle? He hadn't ridden a bike since he was 10. Over the next few weeks, it seemed more like nightmares coming true than dreams. Every time he switched on his PC, he was overwhelmed by business propositions, contracts to read, an avalanche of paperwork. It was hideous. He was working from early morning until late at night. Not only that, he was being starved. If he reached for a drink, it was immediately snatched from him, and however busy, he was forced out 3 times a day to run or ride his bike or work out in the gym. Myfanwy was always on his case. She sat on his desk, hopped onto his knee, perched on his shoulder. Even when he closed his iFairy down, she still seemed to hover. In the pub, no beer for you, boyo. Following him around the supermarket, put those donuts back, fat boy. Even in the shower, you've still got love handles, look you. And next to him on the pillow, time to get up for your morning run, ha ha. After 3 weeks, he'd had enough. It was like having a nagging wife. No, worse. Surely a wife wouldn't put you on a lettuce diet and expect you to keep to it for a whole week. He'd wanted a fairy with a magic wand for instant gratification, not one that was forever whispering, naughty, naughty, and treating him like a schoolboy. He didn't want all this gruelling effort and running 5 miles before work. If it came to it, he'd rather have colonic irrigation and liposuction. You didn't have to diet these days. Which century was she living in? He refused to let that green-legged Welsh tyrant bully him any longer. Blood up, he fetched a hammer and placed the device on a wooden board. The first blow splintered the casing, and he thought he heard a tiny shriek. Shut up! Shut up! He yelled, and brought the hammer down again and again. The first people who viewed the YouTube video of Alex's hammer attack, for even in his frenzy, he'd had the presence of mind to capture the assassination on his mobile, were in awe. How had he had the temerity to destroy one of the I-family offspring? But then someone followed suit. My fairy was a bossy bitch fairy too, he tweeted. I could have strangled mine, raged another. And suddenly the video went viral. Within 3 days, he had 20 million hits. It started an epidemic of destruction. All over the world, people were taking hammers to their iFairies. It was not until he started to earn a share of the advertising revenue from his video that he realised the impact of his little act of demolition. He was going to be rich. His dreams were coming true after all. Could this have been Mifanwi's swan song? Had she decided to intervene one last time? No, that was nonsense. Who needed fairies? With satisfaction, he sat down to his meal of double cheeseburgers, burger and fries with a generous lashing of mayonnaise. He reached for his beer and savoured the first frothy gulp. He didn't want to be lean and toned that much, did he? Not to have to forego treats like this, surely. It was true he'd started to lose weight when Mifanwi was being so harsh with him. He might have even have achieved a body like Aidan Turner's if he'd persisted. For a moment, he missed her. But it was only the briefest of moments. Thank you.